Welcome back to the Sportsplex here in Feasterville, Pennsylvania for the 3 and 4 seed, the battle for third place here at the 2018 JRDA World Cups. My name is Al B, and I am here with
Tool Time. We got an excellent game today, Australia versus Canada, as you said, for the 3rd and 4th place here at World Cup in Feasterville, Pennsylvania, here at the Sportsplex. Both lines getting ready as we're about ready for some roller derby. Excellent gameplay out of both sides today that we've seen. But wouldn't you agree, Al?
Absolutely. It's been a great tournament, not just today, but the entire yesterday during the seeding, which was a very interesting thing. It was new for all of us, and we were wondering how it was going to work out, and where we did basically 15 30-minute bouts, almost back to back to back to back to back to back to back.
Yes, that was definitely a whole lot of fun had. And the sound we're hearing is Gretchen on house, getting the crowd livened up for this game
and
as we go against Australia against Canada.
All right, Team Australia today, 01 KO Cutie, 02 Rumblebee, 04 Princess Slam Jam, 106 Mad Catter, 12 Girl on Fire, 1300 Red Roach, 1357 CD Rascal, 1407 Misconduct, 1618 Ironstein, 17 Ada Robertson, 19 Dark Side of Doom, 202 Angel Backstab, 226 Tough Cookie, 242 Stockwell, 26 Crazy Daisy, 33 Tara McAvoy, 355 Elkie Stubbs, number 60 Yeah Nah, 808 Batitude, and 99 Bonfire. We'll get this next jam, and Tool Time will come back with the Team Canada roster.
Australia taking a line behind the jammer line to get some momentum before engaging in the pack. Australia taking the jammer line right off the start. And we're off Dark Side of Doom for Australia.
Number 56, that is, come on now, Mac Daddy. I've said that name 17,000 times this week.
Well, as you said, yesterday it was back-to-back derby, and we've had the same here today. Great effort from us here at the Sportsplex, both the announcers and the AV crew that is here making everything happen, as well as everyone on and off skates. It has definitely been a week to remember for us, as well as these teams coming here. Canada putting 3 on the board, shutting down Australia in the first jam. And we have 9-1-1 for Canada. Wolfblade Jr. taking the line against 202. That is Angel Backstab.
Shout out to the cameraman up there. Like you mentioned, the AV crew, man. Ben and the crew from Blaze are just killing it this weekend. The cameraman's giving us the best view he can from the jammers, the jammer line, since we're on the opposite side. But it has been worked out. It has been wonderful. Wolfblade Jr. and Angel Backstab going to battle for their teams. Looks like nope. Man,
yes, hits it, quits it, calls it at 4 points.
7-0 lead as Canada takes the first 2 jams, 2 lead jams in a row for Canada. Total of 7 points.
And Red Roach taking the line for Australia. We've seen a lot of hand slaps between jammers at the start of everything.
And that was Mac Daddy for Canada that Red Roach was high-fiving.
Both teams down 1 blocker at the start of the jam.
Thing to watch, what could be the key factors in this game has pretty much been the same as all weekend. Penalties, staying clean on the track, and watch the pack play. Pay attention to the communication when you see the pack, and it's not just 2 groups of bodies that you're looking at. Watch them communicate with each other, both visually and non-visually, as Mac Daddy sprints on the outside of the track. Circling back around, taking lead jam.
Putting 5 points on the board for Canada as Red Roach still tries to get get the initial pass. But you're right. We've seen great communication, both verbal and nonverbal, on the track between these players. Everyone knowing where they need to be, when they need to be there. And right now, all it's coming down to is not just seconds, but split seconds that we've seen with these teams, where just a split second they'll catch someone on the outside, or they'll find a hole and get through to get some points on the board.
Yeah, Red Roach that time, and he has been pretty effective for most of this tournament. But the Canada blockers, again, we go back to that communication and the pack play between these two groups of talented athletes. Both teams at full strength right now as number 911 goes to the jammer line for Canada.
And that's Wolfblade Jr. for Team Canada taking the line. Australia, whoa, never mind. Wolfblade Jr. getting behind the jammer as they start engaging. Australia's jammer trying to make something happen off of turn one, but excellent recycling walls by Canada.
Yeah, Rumblebee is caught up in that red wall. And Canada, it just seems like Canada has gotten stronger every bout they've played this weekend. The pack play has gotten better, more precise, and they have gotten better each and every bout throughout this time. They started out, had a couple of lead changes back and forth with USA East, and that was a very entertaining bout for quite some time. As now, Wolfblade Jr. back around, but that's a no pass, no penalty, so that.
Yes, Canada sending a blocker to the penalty box. Rumblebee through the initial pass. And as you said, Canada keeps getting better and better, but these skaters keep getting better and better as we go. This is my first time at World Cup, and just seeing Team Australia, Team Europe, Team Canada, Great Britain, bit of a pile-up situation as Canada takes out one of their own blockers. It was a legal hit, though, so we won't see that either of them going to the penalty box, but both sides laughing at that one.
Angel backstab on the line for Australia.
Mac Daddy for Canada, and Angel backstab gets your lead jam, one of the first lead jams for Australia here in Jam 5. So far, Canada holding Australia at 0, but we'll see what Rumblebee has to say about it. Four points to Canada on that one, keeping Australia at 0. But we have seen a number of turnarounds. What do you got for us, Al?
Shout out to Maniac from Light City Derby over in the land down under. Mama B says, "Hello, husband."
And that's Red Roach taking the line for Australia, going up against Wolfblade Jr. for Team Canada. As you said earlier, Wolfblade definitely doing some work out there. One of the few male skaters on Team Canada, but excellent play on both sides. And it's great to see the World Cup be open division all around, just as Red Roach gets the lead jam.
Very fast-moving pack, quickly around the outside.
And we may have some jammer engagement. So no points scored on that one.
Split pack to start. Pivot line start as we wait for the beginning of the jam. 22 minutes and 35 seconds. Mac Daddy back on the line for Canada. It is number 19. I believe that's Dark Side of Doom. Yes, it is. For Australia.
And thank you, Queen of the Clutter, on our stream. Yes, Wolfblade is the only male skater on Team Canada, which is a bit of an anomaly here at World Cup. But Mac Daddy with the lead jam for Canada, followed closely by Dark Side of Doom.
Australia breaking through on the scoreboard. That first one's always the hardest one to get.
That's right, definitely not counting out Team Australia. We've seen them pull off some pretty amazing comebacks and then gain a lead and hold on to it. Right now we have Wolfblade taking the line for Canada again, going up against 2-0-2.
That's Stabby, Angel backstab.
All right, both teams at full strength on blockers. Excellent recycle by Canada, bringing back backstab behind turn 2. But backstab getting your lead jam for Canada.
Stabby coming around to make the point pass. Ooh, big hit by the Canada pivot. That is number 52, maybe? Mad Child. Very appropriate right now as Mad put the hit on Stabby.
Stab Angel gonna call it off. Woo. A lot going on. And as far as on the stream, Nova Roller, we're not sure what the situation is with Bloody L, but fortunately, there are plenty of people here for Team Canada in case you need any updates. And Red Roach taking the line again for Australia, going up against 6:15 for Canada. Sorry, 8:15, that's Macklemore. Lead jam given to Macklemore as Australia's blocker stands in the penalty box.
Lots of hard-hitting action going on as Macklemore comes around.
And she's going to enjoy a power jam as Red Roach goes to the penalty box. And we want to thank our moderators on the stream, keeping people up to date. We know you want scores from everything happening, but as I said, our AV people are working hard to give us the best stream that we can right now. And that information will come as soon as we're able to recover both physically and mentally.
Most of the previous scores are posted. If you'll go to the JRDA website or the JRDA Facebook page, you should be able to find. Somebody's been posting scores throughout, so they should be available probably on the Facebook page, possibly on the JRDA website. I'm pretty sure. Australia now 4 points on the board as trying to contain Macklemore, but Macklemore skating around. Penalty box is empty right now, which is a good thing, so both teams at full strength.
And that's Rumblebee taking the line for Australia.
Great shot, cameraman. Thank you very much. You are the best.
And a high five between jammers.
Mac Daddy and Rumblebee is joining Rumblebee on the line. We'll see a lot of both of these skaters throughout. We've already seen a lot. And at this late stage, with everything on the line for your third place finish, they're gonna try whatever they can and see what works and stick with it. And right now, Rumblebee buzzes right through the inside, gets out for lead jam for Australia as Mac Daddy still trying to get through that wall of green. Great defensive play, great pack play. Now Canada had number 9 go to the penalty box as she's just coming out actually. That's Reina Terror. And Reina Terror has been just that on blockers and jammers throughout this tournament. Little mini apex jump on the inside coming out of turn number 3. That's Rumble B coming around, trying to make yet another point pass. Now Mac Daddy is now through the pack and is coming around, approaching for her point to get points, but Rumble B calls it off. Might have been a little late. I believe it was.
And 13 points for Canada on that one. Amazing jam by Australia.
Canada got 2 points that time as Mac Daddy was able to sneak out a couple at the very end. 2:02, that is
Angel backstab going up against Wolfblade Jr. Both teams at full strength as they start engaging off of turn 2. And if you're noticing the outside pack ref, that is TIE Fighter, who's had a long weekend as well. Started in the junior champs here at Sportsplex on Friday. Has been skating every day since then and is here to help us out to keep everyone safe and keep the penalties tracked here on the track.
TIE Fighter has also been a temporary, an alternate announcer. He's announced a couple bouts.
Yeah, we've had a number of junior announcers. We had one with Stand By an Eye, and that was Mad Dog Murphy, who is on World Team USA East in the last World Cup. We've had a couple on the house today, such as Ironstein, who for our Team Australia.
Wolfblade Jr. now coming back around. 10-0 so far for Canada on this jam. Wolfblade Jr. goes to the outside of the pack, weaves back inside, lateral movement back and forth between the blockers. Great footwork by Wolfblade. Wolfblade, I love that name. As now Team Australia's blockers are resituating themselves. Canada with 2 skaters in the box, so that's the depleted pack. And Wolfblade trying to get back through. Wolfblade calls it off now because it was just about to give up some points, but called it off just in time. 77-18 in favor of Team Canada as we rectact. Yeah, go back to where you were talking about the juniors. We do have an official timeout at this time, and any information we get on what it's about, we'll let you know.
Well, it looks like an official review by Canada, and we'll update that later. But yeah, we had some maniac decided to think of having a junior announcers clinic, and some other maniac decided to volunteer for it. Al, B, and I, being those maniacs, we had a couple of skaters sign up for it. 2 from the FOCO Spartans, and that's Hippie and I Gnarly. We had 1 from Gotham, and that was Killer Vegan. And then we had 2 from Darlings of Destruction, and that was Megantron and Electrocute Her, who's been with me all week, and it was so satisfying to see her start off as this shy, like, little bit here and there, and then with the game we just saw earlier, having her with me as the jammer. Jam timer, not jam timer, but checking the floor. And right there we have Ironstein.
And Ironstein is another one. She did not. She has an announcing background, and she applied for the team, but something happened, and she did not get all the communications that I had. So she has actually worked on the announce team. She was streaming, and she did a great job, and was just absolutely amazing on the mics. Very talented young lady.
We see a quick moment over here between turns 2 and 3. It's people in Canada and Great Britain flags run across the track to hug. Not only is great sportsmanship happening between the jammers and the skaters on track, but the parents are being very friendly as well.
Oh, these fans are fantastic, man. Especially down there in the whole apex of that turn up there. Team Australia and Canada have been side by side, and they have been just so energetic the entire weekend, as has Great Britain, who has kind of dominated that area over there. And I like it. The best thing I can tell you to describe how Great Britain has been is you think of European soccer and soccer overseas, and with all the frenzy, they have been absolutely amazing.
And a quick correction on myself. That was Australia's going over there for a hug between. I saw the Union Jack, but then I remembered, oh yeah, that's a thing. So a correction on my part as Red Roach takes the line for Australia. Macklemore, who's been a really productive jammer this weekend, as Red Roach goes to the penalty box, giving Macklemore a power jam.
It's a very slow moving pack, kind of waiting for the jammers to come back to him as Macklemore now comes back, signals her blockers, hey, I'm ready. They open up. And just like running the old wishbone, running the wedge back in the day in football, they opened up the hole for her, and she followed back, went on the outside. But then right at the last minute, Australia able to weed her out on the outside. She's recycled, but then makes a lateral movement back, takes the inside going into turn number 1, and is circling around coming back.
Red Roach back in play through the initial pass. Macklemore re-engaged in the pack off of turn 3. Knocked out, calls it off, but that is 2 points for Team Australia. But just to finish up my thought, it was very satisfying to see Electrocutor starting off so shy and everything, and then as the last game was finishing up, she was doing the call just like seasoned announcers were with me off mic. And it's good. I'm very excited to be working with these juniors as they are the future of not only skating roller derby, but roller derby as a league on its own.
Yes. Mac Daddy going to the line for Canada. Australia's jammer going on the inside. That is, I believe that's number 19, Dark Side of Doom. But lead jam went to Canada, but Dark Side of Doom now getting past as the blockers are waiting for. Yeah, to touch on the point one more time for the junior announcers and stuff, that clinic, and I don't want to go anymore because we got a lot of stuff going on and we want to pay attention to the Derby. I will give you props because shout out to you for the excellent job that you did. It was your idea. You wanted to come here and have a clinic, JRDA, and we all talked it over. And yeah, you just did a good job, man. And I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of the juniors that helped you out. So Ada Robertson and Wolfblade Jr. going back. It's 86-21 in favor of Canada. Ada Robertson facing right through the center of that 3-wall for Canada as they bridge, give you depth. They bridge the pack all the way around the front, the turn. Now Wolfblade, she goes on the inside, coming back out, but there's Ada Robertson. Is she did she stick it?
Didn't quite catch it, but it looks like she's going back, but being recycled behind the line.
Four points for Team Australia as they get a 2-point advantage on that jam. Ada Robertson coming back to the bench as the jammers line up for the following jam. We're on jam number 14 so far, and that is Red Roach against Mac Daddy. We've seen them a lot. We're going to see them a lot more, I am sure. Just under 11 minutes to play.
Australia definitely doing some great work. Mac Daddy with the lead, but Australia definitely starting to gain some momentum, putting some points on the board here in Jam 15.
Thank you, WFTDA. That was funny. I got jokes. See, I was complimenting him. I don't want to be too nice to him because it would, yeah, I can't do that. He's used to me being ugly to him, so I got to just let it go and then move on. That's why I said let's get back to Derby. Mac.
Reading off of our stream, and definitely keep those coming because we are reading them off. But Red Roach gets a back block. That's going to send him back to the penalty box. And penalties will definitely start weighing in come the second half in just under 10 minutes.
Oh, no. Mac Daddy coming back to the penalty box, talking to the coaches. Mac Daddy is one of 3 triplets on the Canada team.
That is true.
And
we got a comment on that earlier.
Their coach is their father. So
no.
That was pretty cool. Yep. I found that out even before from the stream. I found that out from one of our announcers was from Canada, or is from Canada. She's still from Canada, as Death Nella was a
excellent help this weekend. But right now, Wolfblade Jr. getting your lead jam for Canada.
Red Roach is the jammer for Australia.
But yes, definitely happy to have Death Nella with us from Canada so we can have a World Cup announcer table just like on the track. But a forearm called on Roach, and that's a couple of penalties on Roach just this half.
Coming up next will be the first place game, the championship game of the World Cup. It'll be between East and West. It was sure to be an exciting time. I am going to do that one at down on the house, so hopefully I will have everybody fired up, and we will be yelling and screaming to where you can't have a hard time hearing Scott Chicken and Death Nella, who will be on the call up here in the booth.
Roach returning to play out of the penalty box. Engages just off of turn 4 on the jammer line. Meanwhile, Wolfblade Jr. still doing some work against an excellent recycling 3-person wall. Red Roach finds a hole on the outside, gets the initial pass.
Wolfblade calling it off. I love the stars for Canada,
the Maple Leafs with the flannel design. Yeah, that's pretty good. But hey, what more do you expect from the A team?
I got you.
See what I did there.
Now, not gonna lie, I would never do the legging thing because those of you that have seen me in person, that's just not something I should do. It would not be a pretty thing for anybody. But if I ever get my hands on a pair of black pants with that lumberjack checkered flannel looking trim somewhere on it, that's some nice looking uniforms right there, buddy.
Well, since we're complimenting each other in a rare instance, you could totally pull those off. But again, Team Australia's representative right there, one of the coaches, if I remember correctly, and her and one of the Canada supporters also wearing a cape. Did a hug earlier just off between 2 and 3. And wait, they're coming back just off of turn 3. Oh, I thought there was going to be a Canada hug, but yes. So much happening, and you can see the crowd. Everyone's been here since really early this morning. Another great shot of Ironside, keeping it classy for Australia. With so many buttons.
All right, we are lining back up, getting back to Derby. That is number 202 for Australia. That's Stabby. Angel Backstab is her name. But see, I've been hanging out with the Australians, and they came to Tampa earlier this year, or last year. It's been a while for one of our tournaments. And
Smacklemore going on the outside.
So I'm kind of I do the shortened name because I'm part of the Australian fam now. You got to understand, So yeah, that's Stabby. Down there hanging with Miss Stockwell and Mama B and the rest of the gang in there in Australia. It's been a very fun crowd. And the Canadians, boy, we have had some fun.
Absolutely. Another backstab going to the penalty box for Australia. Australia getting a little bit of penalty trouble with their jammers in this half with just under 6.5 minutes left. Canada finding, tries to sweep in, gets through, another 5 points.
Yes, Cherry Blaster, Mama Smack is out there.
All right, Mac Daddy on the line again for Canada. Still excellent work out of Canada.
We did do the rosters in the beginning. We might not have got back and did Canada, but regardless, I will go through the next play stoppage. I will give you all the rosters one more time, complete rosters, for those of you out there watching on twitch.tv/WFTDA. I will make a point to it. If I don't start doing that, Tim, you just hit me with that in the hand with that ink pen and for not keeping my word. Angel backstabbing Mac Daddy going to work for their teams. Mac Daddy around right through the little 2-wall, now coming back, and one skater in the box for Australia. The problem is there's another skater heading to the box for Australia. They are the legal jammers, so it is a power jam for Mac Daddy and Team Canada. Not exactly what Australia ordered. Now Mac Daddy goes right up the gut of that 3-wall up in turn number 2.
And Mac Daddy still doing some work against Australia's blockers. Still an amazing effort by Australia. I've been watching the Canadians because they've been warming up and getting ready close to where the announcers are. And I said earlier in a game that I called with them, they have this ceremony where they stand in a circle and sing a song, do a little dance number in the inside. So excellent job from the coaches, not only keep helping relax the players, but also having them do different dances each time they go through just to help that creativity and keep them loose. And it's definitely paying off for them as they're staying really calm.
Are you telling me that was a coaching tool? I thought they were just entertaining the announce team over there. My goodness. Angel backstabbing it. As the jam goes through them, Mac Daddy's coming around.
Well, that may have been a coaching tool, but this weekend with the clinic, I was a teaching tool. You see what I did there?
Yeah. Now you're an interrupting tool. Wolfblade Jr. going to the jammer line for Canada. I believe that's Rumblebee. It might be Dark Side of the Moon.
You are. Getting confirmed by Gretchen on the headset. One of the comments, do you have any expectations for USA East? Yes, that it will be a great game. That is my expectation, and that is my only expectation, as I can't wait to see that game later today.
Wolfblade down on the inside, coming up the back straightaway, now circles around. Rumblebee getting caught up, and Canada, the pack play from Canada. And I think penalties and pack play have been the key for both the JRDA tournament national chance that we did and the last 2 days of this World Cup for everybody. If you stay clean, you generally do well. If your pack play it communicates well and listens and bridges and sticks together when they're supposed to and has an obvious leader out there, then you're successful. But Canada has gotten, everybody has, but Canada has the improvement that they've gotten just from working together. So many. I really think the round robin yesterday did everybody a lot of good because it was very challenging. It helped the skaters get better. It helped us work on our game a little bit because you had to hurry up and run and get back in your seat. It was awesome.
Absolutely, and right now, and with Ada Robinson taking the line for Team Australia, going up against Macklemore.
No, that is Candy Crusher, number 15.
Thank you. But you're right. That was an excellent training experience for everyone.
Cool. I'm gonna interrupt you now, as it is an official timeout. I'm going to give you Team Canada real quick, dressed in the black jerseys. Number 13, Nutcase Nadia. Number 15, Candy Crusher. Number 16, Bloody L. Number 2, QT. Number 222, Sarah Seidel. Number 3, Goldie. Number 30, Rip and Roller. Number 38, Black Belt Beauty. Number 40, D Presser. Number 406, T-Ball. Number 51 Houdini. 52, Mad Child. 56, Mac Daddy. 65, Teja Vu. Number 8, Kryptonite. 815, Smacklemore. 901, Crashity Jade. 911, Wolfblade Jr. And number 99, Ruthless, as Smacklemore and Canada go to work. But Ada Robertson taking jam for Australia.
Right, you are. Excellent play just off turn 4. A strong wall of red, and Ada will call it. And that is 4 points on the board for Australia, courtesy of Ada Robertson.
A lot of these skaters on Australia skate for Newcastle Junior Roller Derby. And the only reason I mention that to those of you out there from Newcastle Junior Roller Derby, I don't know if you're affiliated with Newcastle Adult Roller Derby, the WFTDA team, but I met many of them a couple of years ago down in Fort Lauderdale for Beach Brawl when they came down there. That was either my first or second Beach Brawl, I believe, that when I met Newcastle. I actually have a Newcastle Roller Derby sticker on my guitar at home.
Well, Mac Daddy enjoying a power jam as Girl on Fire goes to the penalty box. It's Canada sending Mad Child their pivot to the penalty box, but Girl on Fire standing for Team Canada.
Zen, a kill code. I assure you that triple threat will be a factor. Has been a factor all weekend. Has been a factor through the JRDA National Championships for his team and in this. So, yeah, if USA East is going to do well, triple threat as well as a few others on that team. You ask about triple threat, but yes. But we'll talk about them after this one because right now we are concentrating on the Australians and the Canadians as they have come down and are playing in this tournament. We have reached halftime. 184-35 for in favor of Canada, and the story is the same. We keep doing these recaps, and everybody asks me thoughts about it, and it's just penalties, staying clean, and pack play, and the communication. And both of these teams doing an excellent job. Interesting to see what adjustments are made at halftime, and we'll check them out for Tool Time. And at myself, Al B, we will see you in about 14 minutes as we come back right here on twitch.tv/WFTDA.
And we're back here for the conclusion of Australia versus Canada. I'm Tool Time, and joining me is
Al B.
And we got a penalty update because we've had some questions on our stream feed. Right now, Red Roach, as I said, having a little trouble with the penalties, starting off this half with 4 penalties. Ada Robertson at 3. No one in any serious trouble right now, but we'll see how they do once they get back on because everything always changes at halftime. We have a lot of players just cooling down, recentering themselves, and it's always different in the second half.
Coaches generally use halftime as well to kind of go over things, just like any other sport. And it's always interesting to see what adjustments are made by the coaching staffs of any given teams. So this is going to be sure to be an exciting second half leading up to our championship game coming up next as number 56, Mac Daddy, going to the jammer line for Canada. For Australia,
And Australia, during the halftime, getting a chant from their home section over there behind our house call, who's led by Gretchen, still in great spirits, and that's just great to see out here today.
as I was saying, Dark Side of Doom is the Australian jammer going up against Mac Daddy. It'll be Mac Daddy tries on the inside line. Dark Side of Doom fakes out like she's going right, but she ends up tries to go right behind Mac Daddy. Mac Daddy with a spin move on the inside, able to stay in. She does take lead jam as Dark Side of Doom forced out on the inside, being recycled back. Mac Daddy coming back for the point pass. Heads straight up the middle of that Australian three-wall as number 242 was coming back to help her jammer. Mac Daddy just went right through the middle of the pack. And there goes Dark Side of Doom.
5 points on the board for Canada as both jammers begin to re-engage. Gets on the inside. Were points scored? No points on that pass for Canada, but still putting 5 on the board. And after this, we got one more game, a rematch at the end of yesterday's round robin. That's Team USA East versus Team USA West. That's definitely going to be a great game because we saw it as a great game yesterday. Right now, Smacklemore taking the line for Canada.
Yeah, it'll be interesting in that game to see what adjustments were made from yesterday. But we'll see. Both those two sets of good coaches, as these are, as we are going with Canada. Canada Smacklemore takes lead jam. Ada Robertson is jamming for Australia. Smacklemore on the inside. And look at the Canada blockers kind of taking possession of that inside lane and then able to work out the Australian pack, opening up basically something anybody could. I could have almost went through that pack. And, well, don't even touch that one, Tool. So as Macklemore calls off the jam after scoring 5, I make that 9.
Well, with these young athletes, we've seen they had a really busy day yesterday along with everyone else. And while some of them, like me as a young athlete, I would be taking the time to go outside, talk to my friends, and doing all this other stuff. But a lot of the skaters were in the stands or on the lines watching the other teams play and getting an idea for their strategies.
Dark Side of Doom against Wolfblade Jr. Wolfblade right through the center of his jammers, looking like it was going to extend through. But look at Dark Side of Doom. Great job by the Australian blockers to just clear the way with Wolfblade to one side. And Dark Side of Doom went straight through the hole that Wolfblade was trying to go through after Dark Side's blockers took care of that pesky opposing jammer for her.
Re-engaging in the pack, Canada's forming at the front of turn 3, calls it. 3 points on the board for Canada, shutting down, 3 points for Australia, shutting down Canada in the third jam.
198-38. I saw Pterodactyl out there in the middle. Pterodactyl was used to hang out with Team Florida, which you and I are both part of down there in the Sunshine State.
Happily part of.
She's out in California somewhere or something as Rumblebee and Mac Daddy take the line for their teams. Canada's pivot and blocker moving out. Look like trying to, very smart pack play again. Canada left, 2 of Canada's blockers left the opposing jammer Rumblebee with 2 of their blockers and went out in front and basically let the Australian blockers that were going up against Mac Daddy come into them and then just kind of steered them where they wanted them to go so that Mac Daddy could capitalize and get lead jam. Excellent pack play by the blockers of Canada.
5 points put on the board as Canada will enjoy a power jam as Rumblebee goes to the penalty box. All right. Australia back at full strength on blockers as they guard the inside line from McDaddy. 33 do it for Australia, doing some work. Another swipe, a multiplayer block called. No, that was recalled. No, that went against.
That was a track that against McDaddy. So we do not have a lead jammer. This one's going to go the full duration. It's going to be a natural ending jam. It'll end on its own, but it'll be about. Wow, that was uncalled for. 25 seconds left in this jam. It cannot be called off. We're just going to pretend the last 30 seconds never happened.
So does that mean that there's still a lead jam?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just checking, sir.
I was sorry. Because for just a second, it sounded like Charlie Brown's parents were coming to call this on womp, 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 womp.
Good grief. McDaddy rejoining the track. Jam is called off, though. 5 points on the board, 10 for Canada. As we get ready for the 5th jam today. And for those who are joining us on twitch.tv, if this is your first time watching roller derby, definitely Google it and check out. There are leagues all over the world and all over the states. You can find it anywhere. Who do we have?
Macklemore and Ada Robertson going to the jammer lines for their teams. And Macklemore takes lead for Canada for the A team.
Ada Robinson through the initial pass as Canada re-engages the pack. Gets through, gets the points. Big hit on the inside of turn 3.
Number 65, Teja Vu, set to come out the bin for Canada. There she goes.
And that's one of the triplets, if I remember correctly.
Well, see, I thought I was doing pretty good to know that there was triplets and they were coached without reading it anywhere. And you apparently know which 3 the triplets are. That I didn't know. I figured I could just get away without,
You trained me too well, sir. I can't help it. I try not to pay attention to you, but eventually it's got to sink in.
Oh, you're killing me. Number 19, that is Dark Side of Doom against Wolfblade Jr. We've seen both of them. We'll see them some more. Wolfblade goes outside. Dark Side of Doom goes straight to the middle, and then her blocker comes up, and it's to help. But look at the pack play by Canada.
Absolutely. Excellent recycling. They're when they need to be. But a penalty against Australia, that's going to make this a power jam.
The Australian pivot is coming out of the box. The Australian jammer just sat down in the box. Wolfblade Jr. coming around for setting up to take another point pass. 2:17-42 here with 22 minutes and 10 seconds left to go here in the second period. It is day number 2 of the World Cup. Day number, I don't know, seems like 27, but I think it's 5 of actual derby going on here in the Sportsplex in Feasterville, Pennsylvania. Big hit. Looked like, nope. Do not speculate. Wait till they say. As Wolfblade Jr. now, lateral movement back and forth across the pack, across the track. Gets through.
Five more points on the board for Wolfblade Jr. And Wolfblade Jr., the only male skater on Team Canada. We had a comment earlier that most of them prefer hockey, but I can only imagine how amazing on the blades Wolfblade Jr. would be, considering the footwork we've seen out of him today here at World Cup. And Australia putting 3 on the board.
Tony Yano, Y-A-N-O-0. Please go to the JRDA restroom. Tony Yano, Y-A-N-O-0. Or Y-A-N-O-W.
Australia down with their pivot at the start of this jam. We have Stockwell going up against McDaddy. Mac Daddy getting your lead jam on the outside of turn 1. That's true. Reffing your own kids is definitely challenging. A couple of the refs out here are parents of the skaters that we've seen out here this weekend. But fortunately, it's easy when you're a parent to know when they did something wrong to send them to the room, otherwise known as the penalty box.
I tell you what would be more challenging, I think, than having coaching.
Yeah.
I'll wait. Let's talk Derby, and I'll come back. I'll give you that one in a minute.
Power
Stockwell.
jam going to Stockwell, yes.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, but Stockwell getting a forearm penalty, going to the penalty box. That's going to release Mac Daddy, but Stockwell won't be in the penalty box for too long, and we'll be going the whole 2 minutes with 1 minute left in the jam.
You're right, reffing your wife and you're reffing your kid. But we had a jam yesterday or over the weekend at some point. I don't know when it was, but it happened. And one of our referees is TIE Fighter, and he was reffing, and he was the outside pack ref, and his sister was was outside jam ref, and his sister was the jammer at one time. And I'm like, how would you like to be that parent over that argument at the dinner table, right?
Oh, yeah,
you know good and well that
definitely.
wasn't a track cut. Yes, it was.
What if you're a parent that's a ref, you call your kid out on a penalty and it's overruled? That kid has got like some leverage on you for a couple of days at least.
See, you say that because you're not a parent. That leverage would be non-existent.
Oh, I've got plenty of Derby kids on the team that are my kids that are good friends of mine. But there's Derby family, and I have some. Looks like Black Belt Beauty for Team Canada going up against number 17, Ada Robertson. First time I think I've seen Black Belt Beauty on the line for Canada. Excellent block to the outside. And one of the Australian skaters looking for the track cut, but none given. Initial pass completed as Australia re-engages the pack off of turn 2. Calls it off. 2 points on the board for Canada, 2 for Australia.
You know, we kid and we've been joking around about reffing and reffing your kids and your spouse and everything else, and you see it online. And while it does exist, I'm not saying it doesn't, because every now and then you have people that are that officiating was this and that officiating was that, and it was upset. And but for the most part, you know what? As a community, we realize, hey, they're volunteers. We couldn't do the sport without them. They had a better viewpoint than I did. But let's let it go.
Absolutely, and right now, Dark Side of Doom going up against Macklemore.
Now, whatever you do, don't be an announcer and mispronounce your name.
This is true.
Which I do religiously. I'm just teasing. It's kind of bad.
Well, it happens to the best of us, and one day it'll happen to you.
Oh no! There was comments yesterday. I butchered a couple, and it was that was my introduction to watching Twitch chats, and I was like, okay, y'all sorry.
It's Macklemore enjoying a power jam as Dark Side of Boom goes to the penalty box, finds a hole on the inside, gets the pass. Yes, with World Cup, there are a couple of names that we've been having issues with. Mine particularly has been Team Europe, New Limit, and I even met the skater, and she is trying so desperately to help me understand and pronounce her name, but it just isn't working. And at this point, I just apologized to her and said, I'm sorry, I'm going to do the best I can. but please know the effort is being made.
So you just added another one to the list that I've been butchering all weekend, and I didn't even know about that one. Mac Daddy on the jammer line for Australia. It's going to be a power start as Mac Daddy for Canada. Y'all knew that. It is a power start as the Australian jammer and an Australian blocker are both in the penalty box. Dark Side of Doom, the Australian jammer, as well as the aforementioned blocker,
And
Red
that's
Roach, both exiting the bin. I know I said it in the first half, but I'd like to do it again because the Australians are I consider them my extended family, as do a lot of Derby people, but the Australians are friends and families. And I want to shout out to Maniac from Light City Derby, just in case you didn't hear the first time, because Miss Mama B will be very disappointed in me if I do not make sure that you get that message. So if you're out there and Maniac's not listening and you know Maniac, make sure you tell them that Al B said, Mama B says, hi, hello, husband. That's Maniac from Light City Derby in Australia. 14 minutes and 19 seconds left to go here in the bout. 2:55 Canada, 47 Australia. Wolfblade Jr. stepping to the jammer line for Canada. It is Ada Robertson for the Australians.
And just a quick update, and mind you, these aren't official stats to be sure, but Red Roach, after coming out of the penalty box, by my unofficial count, that could be 6 penalties, so Red Roach definitely going to have to be careful. Not in this jam currently, but right now, Ada Robertson has the lead jam for Australia.
Now those of you that have been watching long enough to know what a track cut is, and when you get pushed out, you have to go back in the track where the person that pushed you out or back behind the pack. You know that, and you're looking at that last little exchange on the outside, and you notice that the jammer did not go back. That is because when the blocker that blocked the jammer blocked them out, they actually went out as with them. And if the person that blocks you out goes out with you, then you may come directly back into play. You do not have to be recycled to the back of the pack. As Smacklemore and
that's Rumblebee for Australia share a friendly high five before the jam gets started. And as you said, that's exactly how a track cut works. But let's also keep in mind that with Derby like this, it is split-second timing, and that's a penalty that's easy to get.
Oh, that's a forearm.
And that's going against Canada, so Australia going to get to enjoy a power jam as Canada sends another blocker to the penalty box for a forearm.
And
all right, engaging the pack just off of turn 2. Excellent lateral movement by number 40 for Canada. That's Depresser. All right, and Canada getting back up to full strength as both their blocker and jammer re-engage off of turn 3. The Canada jammer getting held to the inside, being brought back as Canada sends another blocker to the penalty box. Now, Canada did have some penalties when I checked during halftime, but Australia with a few more penalties than them starting at the half, but that could change with just under 11 and a half minutes left in this game. So, Al, I'm going to get a little sentimental, if that's okay with you.
oh, don't do that.
Oh, no, it's going to happen.
Quickly, yeah.
Just so that everyone knows, Al has been my mentor in Florida since my very first JRDA tournament, which was Southeast Regionals, I think 2014. Taught me all the tricks of the trade and has helped me develop since then. Houdini taking the line for Team Canada. Dark Side of Doom taking the line for Australia.
Dude, don't blame that on me. Dark Side of Doom and Houdini going to work. Dark Side of Doom quickly on the outside, taking lead jam almost instantly.
It's like she vanished, then reappeared in the front of the pack.
Ooh, but it wasn't Houdini. It was Dark Side of the Doom.
I know. I just had to get a Houdini pun in.
There you go. Well, at least.
4 points on the board for Australia. No, 8 points on the board for Australia, 4 for Canada. And as our wonderful moderator, WFTDA, is saying, yes, we are very complimentary of each other because we're like a family. We have our ups, our downs, and we communicate to each other through some compliments and some backhanded compliments.
Can somebody please shut his mic off?
Aww.
Mac Daddy going to the jammer line against Ada Robertson. We do have an official timeout. Let's take a second real quick. Your NSOs for this bout have been Accidental Doll, Pterodactyl, Hannah, Pinky and the Brawn, Emma Goldmangle, Dano, Leia Flat. Leia Flat, a veteran of roller derby coming out of Tampa, now residing in Crooked River, Ohio. Judge Wapner, your head ref is Judge Double Wapner. Sir Lancelot was a referee. S.T.O. Nasty, Sto Nasty, Richie Cranium, TIE Fighter, Scrim Reaper, Karma, and Guinness. Thank you to all the officials and the skating and non-skating officials, as well as the medics who keep everybody safe because this is a full contact sport. Shout out to, I'll be honest with you, the cameraman this bout. I don't know if it's the same dude or if he's just has been. Look, there's TIE Fighter. Hey, TIE.
No,
Okay.
the TIE Fighter's got a super serious face on.
Okay, now you pay attention to TIE Fighter, all right? Now, when I go out and announce the next bout on the house, I want the cameraman to give the same shot, and I want those of you at home to tell me who wore it better. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You pay attention to TIE Fighter and him and his attire, and I'll be there in a little while. I'll switch places and go switch duty as Ada Robertson and Mac Daddy get started, get rolling. Here we go. In the 14th jam of the half, it's about 9.5 minutes left to play. Mac Daddy is lead jam, but going to call it off because Ada Roberts is all the way around. The student still has a lot to learn. I know, that's what I'm talking about. Daniel, wax on, wax off, Danielson. Mic on, mic off.
Well, thankfully, you brought me along to the second JRDA champs, and this time I got the chance to do World Cup where we're at right now.
Yes.
Dark Side of Doom taking the line for Australia, going up against Wolfblade Jr. for Canada. And Canada gets your lead jam.
What a move by Wolfblade Jr. going down on the inside of the pack, circling back around. Both jammers now returning back to the pack. Wolfblade Jr. going to call it off because Wolfblade Jr. was in control and did not want Dark Side of Doom to score any points.
Compliment TIE Fighter on there who can explain an official review better than anyone we've ever met. I would challenge that to Catman, who is an excellent explainer of rules, has actually clarified a couple of things for me, and I've announced with him a couple of times. Unfortunately, couldn't make it this time, but he is still always welcome as my co-host. In the meantime, Smacklemore and Ada Robinson. Smacklemore with your lead jam.
I'm not gonna lie. The only reason we okayed you teaching a class is because we really thought that Catman, the young Catman, was going to be here to help you and to make you behave. I did not know that was going to become a one-man job and that I had to do it once. So if I would have known, we might have rethunk it.
Oh, no, I was going to put the entire thing on Catman's shoulders and just stand there and be pretty, but, you know, it's what I do best, sir.
If I wouldn't mind you standing there being pretty if you could stand there and be pretty and quiet.
Never going to happen. Just get that out of your head right now.
Mac Daddy to the jammer line for California. Womp womp. Canada, California.
And that's number 12, Girl on Fire for Australia.
The difference in Canada and California is I would like to go to Canada. Just teasing California friends. I'm teasing. Oh, gosh. Go ahead. There you go.
Okay, I'm putting you in a timeout, Al. If parents can ref their children, I can ref you. I am putting you in a timeout.
Well, as you and Schwamageddon from Detroit say, I'm not your real dad.
You're not my real dad.
All right, Mag Daddy, going to work. 277 to 67 with just about 6 minutes and 10 seconds to play. There's Richie Cranium. Shout out to Richie.
Excellent block on the outside by number 3 for Canada, Goldie. We're wrapping up in just under 6 minutes of this game. Australia still in this fight till the very end, taking out the Canadian jammer. So Catman also a junior roller derby renaissance person, just like TIE Fighter, not only refs but plays and announces. So I think we need to step up our game, Al. We're going to be out of a job soon.
Wolfblade Jr. going to the jammer line against Dark Side of Doom. Every time I say Dark Side of Doom, I have to stop from
big Pink Floyd fan?
From doing the Pink Floyd references because I did them earlier, and you know it was just one after another this morning with our producer. George and I were doing the call, and we kind of did a Pink Floyd fashion, little puns there. And then when our WFTDA moderator brought to our attention that the announcers have finally hit the wall, we decided to stop that.
That's enough out of you. 5 points for Canada on that jam.
Come on, it was 8 o'clock in the morning.
We have a number of skaters out here wearing S1 helmets. S1 helmet that I myself used to wear back in the wonderful days of yore when I was skating. And we've had excellent vendors here who have made some excellent purchases for people. That's right. You don't need no education. Houdini with your lead jam for Canada.
Obviously we don't. I'm here. Moving back to roller derby now.
Okay, teacher, let's leave those kids alone and get back to what we're doing.
Okay, look, there's roller derby.
There's roller derby.
Houdini and the Rumblebee going to the jammer lines for their teams as now Houdini takes lead jam and comes back and re-engages with the pack trying to get some more points. Already had 5 in the first pass, and now Rumblebee still trying to get through. Working, pushing that red wall. Now both packs are converging on one another.
Houdini goes down off turn 4.
Yes, it was just another brick in the wall, WFTDA. If you serve it, I'm going to hit it. Fill the stream, the chat room, with all your Pink Floyd puns. Let's do it.
No, this is Canada versus Australia. USA East and West will be playing after this. Official timeout called. But we saw just a second ago both teams, even the score aside, Al, this has been a great day for roller derby, a great game, and it's very great to see these young athletes having such a good time. I mean, what an adventure to come from Australia all the way here and meet fellow skaters from around the world.
Slender, no, USA East is not playing now. They will be playing USA West following this one for the championship. It should be. I'm not exactly sure of the time. I mean, I think we're relatively on schedule, pretty close, and we're trying to keep it that way. But I think we did a good job for 4.5 days.
It's good enough for roller derby, is what it is.
It's roller derby time. Yeah.
Girl on Fire.
Go ahead.
Going up against Macklemore. Under 3 minutes left in this game. Red Roach on the inside at turn 3. And with a fancy spin, Australia Girl on Fire with the lead jam.
7 Deadly Sins Pride. You are probably right. Yeah, let's just not do that. That's opening up a can I probably don't want to open. Right now, the moderator's back there going, "Why'd you say that, man?" Because she's delete. This is a monitored chat, just so y'all know. Girl on Fire with lead jam for Australia. Just over 2 minutes left to play here in the bout.
Both teams down, one blocker.
Safe travel wishes to all of you out there that are heading out to RollerCon coming up. I know I've seen Facebook posts you're already on your way. And safe travels to everybody who will be traveling home from here tomorrow. I know I am, as much fun as I've had, I am ready to go to the house. Travel back to the Sunshine State.
You are not kidding. I can't wait to go home and just be comfortably numb.
Wolfblade Jr., Dark Side of Doom. There's all your jammers.
Skater down, but no injury, just an impact. Stop block. That's going to make this a power jam for Dark Side of Doom.
Still no, wow, we're going to go. Look, both jammers going through. This place is starting to fill back up. Great Britain taking their spots, Canada and Australia taking their spots. Everybody kind of has their little section. And I want y'all to listen if you're here for the feed, if you're here on twitch.tv/WFTDA for the next bout. Listen as this place starts rocking. Great Britain kind of leads the stands over there, and there is so much noise as they get ready. And it has brought a European soccer atmosphere to this sport for the weekend, and it is so much fun to call a sport that we love in front of such an amazing and loud and energetic crowd.
Absolutely.
That's why I am literally, my position for the next bout. Gretchen is going to call all the roller derby. I am just going to have a mic and be the MC of the building in play stoppages and go out there and have fun with the fans. And I am more excited about doing that than I have been for just about anything else.
Absolutely, and it will be a thrilling conclusion to JRDA World Cup here in Feasterville, Pennsylvania. We may have one more jam, but seeing all the
football,
skaters.
you are correct. You are correct. Football, my bad. Fish reminded me, don't let them hear you call it soccer.
All right, one more jam. Number 17 for Australia, taking the line, Ada Robertson, going up against, that looks like Macklemore, and it is.
Look at you.
Canada down one blocker, as this should be the last jam of the game before we have USA East and USA West playing each other for first and second place.
Yeah, as WFTDA said, it should, we have shortened the time between the bouts whenever we've started to get behind and towards the end. We're running, I think, about 10 minutes behind, or a little bit behind, but yeah, WFTDA just let us know that it should be about 10 minutes because what they do is they do a quick cleanup of the track. They check the tape maintenance to make sure everything is still taped down. So it'll be just a few minutes as we get going, as the crowd still engaged. And that's one of the coolest things about this is even with the big score deficit right now, all the teams, the Canadian fans are up screaming, the Australians fans are up screaming, the Great Britain fans are up screaming, the American fans are over here clapping for their favorite new friends that they've met that came over. I know I have a bunch of them. I can't wait to go through. I haven't posted any of them because we've been real busy, but I have been a selfie-taking machine with my friends from across the water.
You never a selfie-taking machine. I've also made a very good friend this week during JRDA's tournaments. That is Death Nella, who I think we'll be seeing later on the stream. She hails from Canada, and we had a moment straight out of Brothers. Like, did we just become best friends? Yup. Unofficial final, big hug at the end. Excellent effort by Australia, excellent effort by Canada. We are done with the third and fourth place for JRDA World Cup.
Canada won a bronze just now, so they will be your bronze medal receiving in the award ceremony in just a few minutes. Folks, go ahead.
Well, that's it from us on JRDA, or at least that's it for me. Al, you got anything to say?
Hey, don't go anywhere because this next one, as soon as we get all the tape and we get it cleaned up, we're going to be back for a huge game. And so remember, as I leave, the last thing I want to tell you is, remember, if you don't eat all your meat, you can't have any pudding. We'll be right back on WFT on twitch.tv/WFTDA.